Good evening and namaste, Christina. Welcome to Holistic Conversation. I'm really looking forward to this conversation because I am a little bit curious. I cannot say little bit, but I'm a lot curious to know about energy healing and light language activator. This is something new for me. So I am really looking forward to learn about your work and about you. So I welcome you, and hopefully, we will have a good informational session today. And yeah, over to you. I would like to listen more about you. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here on the show. Yes, I do energy healing, life coaching, light language activations. Just for anybody that doesn't know what light language is, because I know some people really do not know or understand what really light language is. There's other names for it. They do call it God's language. It's language of light, but it is something that we used to have a long time ago. We used to be able to access it. It was when we were able to be connected to our higher self, when we were on a higher consciousness. And since Egypt was about the last time we were connected where we could get our light language. But what it is you're speaking with your soul. So I'm able to talk to anybody's soul whenever I'm speaking it. It is addressing your soul. You might not understand the words that I'm saying, but your soul does. And so it will implement whatever I'm telling it to do right then. So it's really great for healing and activating things within people. We are really able to do anything when it comes to light language. When we set intentions with this, it's like the power on it is like times a million. So we can pretty much do anything once we tap into this gift and ability. You're channeling from the divine realms. So the possibilities are endless with that. So I love that.
It sounds really amazing. Like you said, it is talking to the soul.
Yes.
So it's the soul's language. That's what I understood from what you were sharing. And it's beautiful because we rarely think about our soul. We are always body, 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 and stuff like that. Head and body, head and body.
Yeah, I believe they were talking in the Bible about like they were talking about one universal language that everybody could like understand and everybody, speak. That is what they were talking about was actually light language. It's something that's connected on a soul level. And there's many different dialects, but no matter what that person speaks, we can all understand it on that soul level. So it's a very beautiful thing. And it's fascinating to see because literally people can feel it, they can see things. Like there's so much that happens when you have like a session or anybody speak light language over you, so it even makes people that are non-believers believers once they experience it. So that's why I love it, because it's kind of like that game changer that can totally change somebody's mind and make them start seeing, a different side of this world, and that there are some things that we didn't realize existed.
Yeah, that sounds really exciting and adventurous. Adventurous. It's like me exploring myself through a different realm. So is it about frequency?
Yes, there's so much. Like when you get this, like I started from the moment I got activated, it does raise your frequency. Like you go from here to up here, like in a matter of minutes, just in this activation. Um, but the great part about it is you're so connected, then your higher self is connected here with you on a whole other level than normal. So you're always getting guidance then and answers to anything that you want to know. Now, if I wanna know something, I don't have to go ask somebody else or do anything. Like, I just ask my higher self, and they give me any answer that I need to know, whether it's about somebody else or myself or anything. I'm able to get that answer and guidance. If I meet somebody and I know them, there's a soul connection from past lives, they let me know right away, and then you are so tapped into energy and everything around you, you can feel everything on such an intense level. The day I got activated, they're like, get used to crying, which I did not like crying then. I was like, no, don't say that. But now, like, I see it, like, I feel so much around me every day. So it takes you totally into a whole other ballpark. Like, it's just there's no explanation for it. It's something that you really have to experience. It changes everything in your community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like seeing magic happen, right?
Yes, yes, pretty much. It's very magical, you could say. That's
So,
how I describe it to everybody.
tell
I'm like, just get used to or get ready for magic.
get ready for magic, ready, said magic. That's amazing. So, I have a question like, tell me more about how you arrived at this light work. How was your journey? And how did you find this path? How? Yeah.
Oh, it was at a rough point in my life. I had went through a really hard life. I never really had a great family growing up. My mother, she was in and out of jail and prison. She was a drug addict, and she was just a hot mess. And when I was 6 years old, me and my brothers, we all separated and went with our dad and grandmothers. And my mom was like pretty much on her own then. And my dad and grandmother raised me, and they were amazing until my grandmother died. Then all of a sudden, it's like my dad died at the same time, and he became abusive, and it was like living with a monster. So I moved out of my house when I was 15 and started taking care of myself, and because I just didn't want to live that way anymore. And then life just still kept, life was always seemed to be hitting me no matter what. Something was always happening. And I've had a failed marriage, just somebody that didn't appreciate me. Then I met my children's father, and that was a narcissist. So let's just say I went through it for 7 years of that relationship and through a lot of trauma, a lot of horrible experiences beyond belief. And then on top of that, like his family came after my kids, and they pretty much had money and I didn't. And they got too paid to take my children here where I live. It's like if you have enough money, you can pay for anything. So they violated my rights. I didn't have any. It was just like automatically we're giving these people her kids. So at this point, and at that same time, actually, we had a fire too. My mom's husband that she just married, who I love to death, but we had a fire and he died in it and lost everything that we owned. And so this is all happening to me at the same time with my kids. And then even after that, like it's just everybody in my life was always there using me. They always come to me for everything because I'm actually nice and will do that. I'm there for all my friends and family. And all the people would do is take advantage. So I finally hit a point like I was done. Like I did not see myself staying here much longer. I kept fighting for my kids and holding on, but it was rough. It was very rough. And then at that time, that's when God came into my life and started speaking to me and said, we're going to get this darkness out of your life. We're going to build your foundation from the ground up where no more darkness can get in. And took me down a journey of self-discovery and healing. And I threw my all into it because at that moment, I mean, that was my only hope I could see was all this stuff that God was telling me. I'm like, okay, I've got to give this my all and do the work and not be afraid and be honest with myself. And so that's what I did. Like I lived, breathed healing and spirituality for like the first well, I still do, but it's like for 4 years straight, like that's all I did was work on myself and study and learn. And that led me to activating a lot more of my gifts and abilities and God sharing more of who I am and what I'm here to do. And that's where God shared with me, I'm a light worker, I'm a star seed. I actually helped create this planet along with some other people, and we've been coming here for a long time. I come at the beginning and the end of all the major shifts on this planet to help receive myself as well, but also to teach people and help them and teach them what I know how to do, help them become like I am. So that's what my passion is now. I see everybody in the world and we're all just trying to do the best we can at getting by, but we're all broken because, just this whole world has become broken. And we just, everybody just needs somebody there for them every once in a while and give them a hand. And I just see how much we cause a lot of our own suffering. And now seeing where I am since God walked me down this journey and I seen what it did for me, I want that for everybody else. Like, but it just breaks my heart seeing anybody now. I see how free I am now, and it's like I don't need somebody else to be happy, even when I've had nothing. Like my life is not great or anything. I'm happy inside. I have joy, and that is a beautiful thing. I found peace within myself. I found love within myself, and now I know what to expect, and life doesn't surprise me anymore, and like it doesn't hit me and knock me off my feet anymore because I've learned the lessons that I needed to. I realized that everything I experienced was all just to teach me something, and once you learn that lesson, then you don't need to experience it anymore. So I really started making sure I went through my life like, okay, why did I have to experience this? What was I supposed to learn here? And now I just like to share that with other people. There's nothing better than that when you get to see, like, just even sharing your story sometimes what it does for people. There's nothing more powerful than when you see the impact you can make on somebody's life. It changes you completely.
Amazing. Yes, you are an inspiration. You are an example. You are a living example of that. And I really appreciate you sharing about your early life in this space. I mean, I was very, I was feeling like, you know, like you have accepted this space and you are feeling safe to share, you know. And I was happy to hear, I mean, to listen to somebody who has grown out of their suffering. And the way you put it in your words, like God is talking to me. How did, how convicted or how confident, or what was that moment for you when you realized it's God? It's the voice of God. How? If somebody is going through something, it's very important for them to know that, yes, this is God's voice. This is my guidance. So that is very important. And that is very, very, how do I put it in word? I don't know. You have experienced it. Please tell us about it. Maybe, I don't know
It,
who is listening, if
it,
they need something.
it was hard. I didn't want to believe it for a while too, and then I thought it was kind of normal. But I guess a lot of people can't speak to God. They might think that they are, but usually it's one of their guides or their higher self or something. But God, there is certain people that we are connected straight with Source. We are already one with Source, so we always have that connection our whole entire life. And it was at first, it was just that inner knowing. I knew that's who it was. I recognized the energy. And then I asked for confirmation one day, I'm just like, is this God? Like, who is this? And I got the answer is yes. I carry the Divine Mother's energy. Back in the beginning of creation, Source actually, he broke itself up into the Divine Mother and Divine Father in order to be able to create more souls. And Divine Mother and Divine Father, they couldn't be in a physical body. So then they had to create an avatar for their self. And that's when I was created. And then Jesus was created. And we are their avatars and stuff. So that's why I have the connection I do with God and why I personally get to talk to him and stuff, because I do hold the Divine Mother's energy and she works through me in all my lifetimes. So it's a little different for me, but a lot of people, I mean, if you want to, all you have to do is ask, you ask for divine clarity, or if you're asked for something, it will be given to you. So always just, what's the worst thing you could do that when trying, just see what happens and see if you can communicate with them as well.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing. Like you said, there's an inner knowing beyond everything. There's an inner knowing. I understand that way. So it was nice to hear that, and I understand that as the light. That is the moment of light entering your life or shining from your soul shining. You know.
Yes. One of my one of my favorite messages from God. I was not expecting it either. And I was talking to my friend in India. I call her Cupcake, but she was she was asking me about the whole concept of not supposed to have attachments. And she's like, I don't understand, because if you have a child, clearly you're going to be attached to that child. So she's like, so what do they mean by no attachment? And at that moment, I just started channeling it. It came right through, and it was God. And God's like, At first he was like, no attachments is because, say if your child is 18 and they want to now move on the other side of the state or the other side of the planet, you have to trust that you did your job and taught them everything you could so that they'll do a good job on their own, and you got to let them go. Or if you have a husband or something or a wife and they pass away or die, you have to be able to let them go. Or if they like also want to leave you or something, you have to be able to release them. We've done stupid things throughout time, because of losing somebody. And so that's why that rule's there. And then God started telling me, he's like, it was the most profound message. I've never felt so much love in my life. Like, I never felt anything like this. That God's like, I am a I'm about to have to let go of your hands. He's like, all this time, I have been preparing you for the moment that you're at now. He's like, I'm that proud father that's about to have to let go of your hands and hope that you have learned everything that you could. And now is that time where I want you to go out into the world and you're going to make me proud. You're going to create something amazing for this world. And I want to make sure, though, before I let go of your hand, that I've taught you everything I could, that you've got all those lessons down pat. Because he's like, I don't want you, to go out there and fall on your face or not, or I not be there when you need me. So it was the most amazing thing to hear him, the love that came through him. And he's like, I am so scared to let go of your hands, but I'm that proud parent right now, and I've done my job and I raised you, and now it's time for me to let you go and release you, and watch what you're going to do in this world. So God is so loving and amazing. I mean, it's God is so non-judgmental. God knows that we come here to make mistakes. That's the whole purpose. And so that's why God says it's not your right to judge. It's only mine, and I won't even judge somebody, because he knows we come here to make those mistakes. And the point is, the only way you do yourself wrong is if you don't ever learn that lesson, if you avoid the truth, and run from it. But it feels so good once you start learning these lessons and implementing this work. You don't realize how freeing it is. There's so much we put on ourselves every day. There's so much we beat up ourselves about, put pressure, feeling like we have, everybody's opinion matters. I remember even being a child and looking around at people, and I'm like, why do they not see that what they're doing is not good for us? Like, it's like we're de-evolving, this used to be better. Now you're doing something worse and everybody else is jumping on the bandwagon. I'm like, why can't they see this? It's like, even then as a child, I just seen things differently and I did things differently. So I guess it's made it easier for me now. I've always been one of those game changers, and I haven't cared what people think. And it's like, I always stand up for myself and my beliefs and share them, whether somebody judges me or not. But that was because God told me, he's like, don't worry about what people say. They're going to call you crazy and everything else. But he's like, I'm going to give them a reason to believe. And I thought it would be like we blow everything out of proportion always. So I'm like thinking it'll be all something that happens around the world at once. But no, single handedly, though, God came into my life, and like all these people around me that didn't believe, he would give them a reason where they needed my help, whether it's to remove entities from a home or something. Like, it would be something they had to call on me, and it changed their whole entire world and their beliefs. And they started to see that this was all real and I wasn't crazy.
That's amazing to hear. And um, as you said, like um, God is doing everything. From what I hear from you is like you were aligned in your way. Like I'm not listening to anybody. I'm just doing what I feel is right. And all those things were already there within you. And you also are saying constantly that God is planning, God is planning, God is saying, like, you don't have to worry, you don't have to worry, just do your work. So that how many people nowadays think like that? I mean, I really don't know, but this is what living with your higher self or energy, the energy flow, the source, um, is very very interesting. I mean, if you are able to receive it and if you are able to follow it.
It's not easy. Like, the worst thing that we all have is the control thing. We can say we're not control freaks, but oh my God, like, we're the ones that say they're not are probably the worst. I was one of them. But it's like, we like to know what's ahead. We like to know what's going to happen. We want to, we want to know and control everything. And when it comes to God, God's like, no, no, you can't have this. Like, you're going to give that up. Like, you got to trust me and let me guide you. And that is like our biggest problem I see with everybody like I work with. It's that whole the releasing control and not knowing. But then it's kind of freeing, is what we don't realize. It's nice not to stress ourselves out all the time, trying to figure out and know everything. And we don't realize how much we block by trying to control everything. We don't realize when there's something better for us that we weren't seeing. And we will prevent those things from being able to happen because we're stuck on just thinking this one, wanting this one way to happen. And it stops the universe from being able to do what was really meant to happen. And when you start actually just giving it over to God and trusting, you have to know, like, you can't be harmed. You are safe. God's got you. You're always going to be where you need to be when you need to be there. You start seeing the signs everywhere around you and you learn to pick up on them. The more and more you start listening and the more and more you start doing, the more and more they'll start giving you, and then it's beautiful when you just look around every day and you just see all these signs of where this is the divine here, working for you. They're always around you and they're always on the sidelines playing these little parts, and just to make sure that you are where you need to be. And once you see that, it's kind of easy then to just let go and release the control and let them come in and do what they need to do, because they got you always.
Yeah, I mean, so beautifully you have said, like, we don't want to let go of control. And the only way that you are sharing, from your sharing, what I learned is faith and trust. Faith and trust. And that is very solid when you're talking about it. Yeah, I totally feel the way you are talking, that, yeah, you have trust. You have to have faith. I mean, share a little bit about that. Nowadays we are so much living in anxiety. Like, I need to know this. Why it can't be like this? I wanted this. I want it that way.
Yes. They have me they have me now. They want me to do a course actually on forgiveness, which I love. They just told me this the other day, and I'm putting it together now, and I'm excited about this one. But we don't realize how much everything in our life was planned out, and we planned it ourselves. And it's something that we needed to experience, even like me losing my children. That was something we planned on. I was a single mom with 3 kids, and I would not have any time to be who I am today. I would not be healed. I wouldn't have had one moment to myself. And so it was something I needed to do. I needed to lose my kids for that amount of time so that I could become who I am now. And I've had faith in God this whole time, even when things look down, when things look bad, and like there's no hope. I didn't give up, and God said my kids would be coming home, and they're fixing to be coming home. God's already showed me that, and it's all in the process now. And it's like I would not give up my belief. I just couldn't. And I believed what God told me. And God's never given me a reason to question him, and so far everything that they've taught me and that I've went through, it has been amazing and it's been great, did great things. So why should I not trust that? But I've seen so many people along the way. I've had friends, and it's like after a month and their manifestation doesn't come true, then they're mad and they're angry. And I'm like, you have to have patience, And they're like, I am. And my one friend, the one time, she thought my kids had only been gone for like a year. And I was like, it's been 6 years. And she's like, what? She about had a heart attack. And I'm like, yes. And I'm not giving up my faith. Like, and God told me that's been my strongest ally. So that's why I always tell people, please have faith and do not give it up. I mean, people don't understand what I deal with. I've been under attack my whole life by demonic energies, left and right. No matter what, something bad was always happening to me. Another attack, another black magic put on me. And so I've had plenty of reasons to give up on this and not believe. I see so many people in the community, they get mad over this or that, and then they're like, I'm done with this. Don't. You got to realize what we're up against. But those things, even those darker energies, they're there to help wake you up. We come, everything in this world started with darkness. Light came from the darkness, but In order to find the light, you have to go through that darkness. And they're there playing their part too. They were working for Source too. And they're the ones helping us learn those lessons. And you end up learning that and you start realizing how, hey, they're not against me. These things are serving a purpose too. And you can actually get to the point where I'm at now, like where they defend you. You're like, I got allies in both sides now. So it's a beautiful thing. When people are sending black magic at me or something, I got them there protecting me now. So it's nice when you get to learn these things and you realize them and you drop that fear and you start forgiving everything that's happened to you. You realize the purpose of it. And that's, I think, the biggest problem is we all want to hold on to that pain, that suffering, and what we went through. We all have a little bit of that victim in us, but you have to see that purpose. I have a friend in California right now. He was just like me, he lost his child, and so many things we had to like, but all these things I'm always preaching that God taught me. Just now he got to prove it. He's like, oh my God, they showed me how my baby's mama she is from my soul tribe, and she's just playing this part to help me so I could become this person. And he just went to court and got his child back. And in court, he was thanking her. He was like, thank you. And she couldn't believe it. And she's like, why are you thanking me? And he's like, I wouldn't be who I am today if you didn't do this. And here everything is like all of God's promises have came around for him. His child's back. He is this great, beautiful person. He loves himself now and is honoring who he is and who he's become. And there's nothing more freeing than that. And so many people don't want to heal those parts of their self, or they also live in denial a lot about what they do need to heal, or that ego coming in. And I guess that was easy for me. Like me, once I notice something, I can't lie to myself. If I try, I will drive myself crazy every day in my head until I own it. It's like, no, what are you doing? But many people don't do that. And it's like they're only hurting themselves. And that's what I wish they could see. If you knew how freeing it is when you start healing these parts and releasing them and being honest. Stop caring about what anybody else is going to think. You're worried about like somebody judging you, and I can't say anything's wrong and about myself. Who cares what anybody thinks? When you look around and you see what everybody else is doing in the world today, do you think their opinion should matter to you? No. And we're all like, we're here and we're human and we make mistakes and we're broken. I mean, you're gonna have those moments. If you're trying to tell yourself that you're not, then you're in denial. So it's like, just be real and be kind to yourself. That's what self-love is. It's being able to see what you need to heal and love yourself enough to do it. See what, needs to be released. It's giving yourself everything that you need, no matter what. And that's a part of it. It's being honest and real and dealing with those things that hurt that you don't want to touch. And you will, if once you do it, I wish I could make people feel like what I do every day inside. It's amazing. I'm telling you, even when like my life is crap, I'm fine. I'm great. And I'm still there lifting everybody else up. And that is amazing when you get into that place where, literally you walk in a place and you could shift the energy. Somebody could be having the worst day of their life and you can come in, you pick them up like that and bring them back up. And that's been the whole point. That's what we're here to do. God told me, he's like, you've been here incarnating since the very beginning, and you've gone through every bit of pain and suffering somebody could go through just so you would know what they needed, just so you could be able to heal them right here, right now at this time. And I'm like, I see it all the time now, and it's so powerful. That's the whole point of our pains and traumas. In the end, it becomes your victory. It is your victory. It's what you end up, it makes your life. It's what you do for a living. Like whatever those pains were, they end up becoming what makes you successful and helping other people. And it's so cool to see that turn around, and to see something so negative become so light. It's just phenomenal.
Yes, it is. It is. And congratulations for your activation and your purpose. You found your purpose. And I loved something about your sharing. I am going to say that now. When you said that I was going through uh, several trials, several trials. And you were also saying that uh, God had plans. God had plans. God had plans. We plan, but God has plans actually.
Yes.
So we
And
should be thinking, yeah, please.
God's gonna get his way. I was just gonna say God gets his way too. So it's like when he's got plans, just know, like no matter what, he's gonna get. I mean, it always happens. I don't care what you think you could stop, but it doesn't happen.
Yeah, and I think that's the best thing that happens.
Yes,
After
yes.
talking to you, I totally feel that. I'm feeling
Mhm.
that.
It's kind of magical when you start doing this journey and you get to this point because you're literally just letting the universe guide you. A few years ago, they told me, they're like, you're not going to know what's going to happen till like moments beforehand, where you're not going to know anything. Just each day is going to be new to you. You're not going to know what to expect. And we need you to be cool with it. And at first, like, I was so uncomfortable with it. Like, it was not fun. And then all of a sudden, like, I seen it was amazing. Like, all the stress went away, having to worry about this or that. Like, and I don't even watch the clock anymore. I swear. It can like if I do look at the clock, it's only when it's like double numbers. It's like 2:22. It's the only time like I look, it's when it's like angel numbers on the clock. But it can be all of a sudden, it's 9 o'clock in the morning, and next thing you know, I look at the clock and it's like 12 a.m. And I'm like, what is going on? How like the whole day just keeps flying by, but I'm not stressed. I'm not sticking to this robotic schedule like everybody is used to doing. And I'm free and I'm able to just be my creative self and let the universe guide me to what I need and when I need it. And oh, I wish I lived like this my whole life. It's so much better. And we don't realize how much we put on ourselves every day that we don't need to do. It's time to just drop those things and let God guide us because it is
Yeah.
so much better. So
Yeah,
much
that's
better.
right. But uh you came to a certain point, and then you started to realize, right? And now you know this is not good for me. This is not good for me. So you can protect yourself, right? So
Mhm.
that's the best guidance, I will say. Like everybody needs those guidance, but they don't courage up to, or they don't listen to what light they have in their inside. I also learned that with your story and you working with the energy healing, that there's light within all of us.
Yes. Yes. Very much so. Yes, we all are healers. We all can heal and stuff. There are just some of us that, it's something we've done for so many lifetimes and we've got to mastery on it. There are some that you could be a healer just with listening to people and talking to them. But there are some of us that we have it in our hands. I'm like me, I'm also a psychic surgeon, but that is something other people can learn too. But psychic surgery, that's also amazing. Like we heal their etheric self and it heals the physical body then. So we can actually heal all like physical elements in the body, prevent surgeries needing to be happen and so much. It's amazing. But that's what we're supposed to do. Like if you're working with a healer, we're really supposed to be teaching you how to do this for yourself. Sometimes you guys aren't prepared yet and you don't know. So that's where you want to come to somebody like us. But while you're getting that work done by them, be paying attention because what they're doing, you can do too. So just make mental notes and remember, because that's going to help you one day whenever you're needing to, take over the reins and start doing the work yourself. You can refer back to what you witnessed when you had your work done. That's where I learned a lot of stuff. I never had anybody there teaching me or guiding me, and I didn't have a mentor, and I learned everything on my own. But it's like when I did see something from somebody else or whatever, I took that mental note. And so I would start practicing it by myself and repeating what I seen. And that's something I always recommend to people, because you can do anything I can do. That's why I'm here. That's why others are here. We're just here to help you learn what we do. So that way you can move yourself up and be there with us. So possibilities are endless for all of us.
Yeah, it's just that we connect through that light, and then we are there for each other to help to lift them up, as you said. You see them, you see their energy, and then you lift them up. You help them to find that energy, to instill that trust and faith in them. That is more important. I feel I felt from your sharing, like you said, um, surgical healer,
Psychic surgery is what they call it. Yeah, because
psychic
it's all using.
surgery. Talk about that, please. Talk about that. Yes, please share. If you know, if
So
you can share one case study with us, like one of your clients' history with that so that we can understand how things move from where to where.
Okay. Psychic surgery is amazing. I don't even have to be there in person with with you, just like with the light language. But this, I actually take, and my soul is meeting with their soul in the etheric realm. And then I have a surgeon that I am a doctor surgeon from the etheric realm that has been partnering with me for lifetimes, and I have a whole crew of nurses, and they come in with me on any client. The very first time I ever had this done, it was actually my friend I was telling you about from India, Cupcake. She was wanting to have LASIK eye surgery done because she was sick and tired of having to wear glasses. And the divine kept telling her, they're like, don't go do that. You need to talk to Christina. And she was used to them having her come to me for like a lot of stuff. There was some things we would always have to do together. And she never had a problem with it. But this time she was hesitating. She just couldn't see how I could help her with her eyes. So she kept ignoring the divine. And then they were like, seriously, you need to go talk to her. And she's like, why? And then they were like, because she's a psychic surgeon. We need you to let her know that so then she can fix your eyes as well. 'Cause she already knows, her soul knows what to do. So this is how I find out about the gift. I'm like, okay. And I'm just supposed to do this in 2 seconds, not knowing what I'm like. I don't remember, but I did it. I was actually able, we over the phone and using my light and my hands, and I healed her eyes. It was amazing. Like she could see again without the glasses. So this is something that we're able to do. There are people every day that need a surgery. Say they needed knee surgery, and they'll, all right, let me try this out though. This person recommended this psychic surgery. They go back to the doctor after seeing us, and the doctor's like, it's some kind of miracle. What? They're like, the knee's healing itself. You don't need surgery now. And they're like, it's not a miracle. It's psychic surgery. So it's really amazing that we can do this. And it's just with the point we're at in this earth is so exciting. We never knew anything like this existed. We didn't know these things were possible. And this is what I love because, when people come to me, especially if I'm coaching them or something, it's kind of nice because I'm an all in one shop. I could take care of if they have the physical elements because they're healing from these traumas. Traumas usually are the cause of all our health problems. And I'm able to help with that. And then, like, everything I went through is my biggest ally. Actually, this is where, like, now I love all the trauma I went through, all the lessons, because, like, I didn't realize it, but Jesus came to me one time, me and my friend, and he was like, you don't even realize your strongest gift. He's like, your ability to talk to somebody in one phone call, and you have so much empathy and understanding of exactly what they're going through. You're able to get them to open up and share everything with you in that first phone call, and you're able to heal them in that first phone call. What many psychiatrists can take months to years to get a client to, you do it in one call. And it's like I know because I've went through it and I see it in them, and I can, even before they start talking, I already know what they need. And so my understanding, I'm able to describe to them exactly how they feel every day, and this and that, so they can see that they're safe. They can see I get it. That's mostly the part. A lot of people don't talk about things because they don't think anybody's going to understand them. They don't understand what they went through or how they feel. So as soon as I show that I get it, that's it. You can consider them healed then. They just open the doorway, let me get in there, take those deep parts of mouth that hurt, show them the purpose of it, that experience, and then I'm able to heal them from it and send them on their way to their life purpose. And there's nothing better than that. Like, I love my job. I love getting to do this
You
every day.
totally do.
Mhm. Yeah, it's amazing.
You totally do. Yeah, I
As
can
long as the
see
people
like how
listen, it's
much.
great. You can give
Yeah,
advice, but
yeah, yeah, that's right. That's
yeah.
right. So for you also, you struggle like people don't listen. They don't listen right away. They take time to have that trust and faith.
Yeah, and it used to get to me in the beginning, because I love everybody. Anybody I work with, I want to see the best for him. So it would like get to me
Yeah.
when I would see them not doing what's best for them or following the instructions. But that's when God and them explained to me, they're like, look, you're there to share what you know, and then you don't invest yourself. But he's like, you gave them an information, and just because they don't use it today doesn't mean they're not going to. They're not ready for it yet. But when they are, you've already taught them what they needed to know. They're going to go, oh yeah, remember what Christina said? And then they're going to implement it. So they're like, you still did your purpose. It's still going to help them, but they're not there. They're not ready for it yet. And that's what we have to realize. We're all at different points in our journey, and each person You take how long you want to learn these things and you decide when you're ready. There is no pressure. The divine's not pressuring you. You take the time. The way God looks at it is, I know, don't do anything before you're ready. I want to make sure that when you do pursue this, that you're in that place where it's actually going to work for you. So don't force yourself into something when you're not ready. So that's what I love too. It's just like they're so loving and caring. And like we realize actually all the pressure and stuff that we do, it's all from us. Like these, like really, like we make it so much hard on ourselves. And I think that is like one of the biggest things that we all struggle with. It's the not putting pressure on ourselves or, judging like, oh, thinking everybody's better than you or that kind of self. Like we're just so hard on ourselves and we deserve better than that. We really do. But
Yeah.
that's how we've embraced to be. That's kind of like how this whole world's been like designed. And so that's why I like to show
Yeah.
people. I'm like, stop pressuring yourself. They want to beat themselves up when they're not like spiritual enough for doing this. And I went, look, this lifetime's special. We're doing something different. Our other lifetimes, we would either be all spiritual, or we would be all just human and not dabble into spirituality. I went, this time we actually get to balance both. This lifetime's about being human and spiritual at the same time. So some days you might not, you might need to just be human and you don't have time for the spirituality. And then there are times where you dive completely into that. It's okay either way. It's just about finding the balance between them both and learning how to work being both of them in your life all the time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a balance, and we need both. We need both. The spirituality and being human. It's like a dance between
Yeah.
both the perception, both way of being, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
wonderful talking to you.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's this
yeah,
world's all about,
please.
it's
Please, you are sharing something. I'm
I was
ready
gonna
to
say that,
listen.
we always got to remember this world's about polarity, so you're always going to have your equal and opposites. But yeah. And so, like, when it comes to, us, you got to remember there's always that equal and opposite. But what we don't realize is those both sides and they're them being opposite, we still carry both of those. We're both masculine and feminine. We also are both light and dark. And so you're having to learn to balance all these energies, the man and female inside, the light and the dark. I used to never want to, I would never say like I had darkness in me, and I would probably get angry if somebody said that. And then God showed me one day, it was like, I made you. You are a light and dark angel. You're half and half. It's like the difference is with you, like whatever decisions you make in darkness, you always come from your heart, and that's the difference between you and actual darkness. And he's like, how do you know how to defeat the darkness unless you've been the darkness and know how they work? You kind of have to work in there and get to know them and know how they work and how they think. And that's very much what my life's been about now. They call me a shadow walker. I went through all that darkness. And so now I know that darkness. I can spot it a mile away. And I'm able to go around that darkness now to bring other people out and bring them where I am, and it not affect me like it used to. And so that is so an amazing thing to do. And this is what we do. We have them all these things inside of us. Now it's just about learning it and balancing them and being okay with having that. Like now I'm okay with my darkness. Like I'm like, all right, because there are times you need that when you've got to stand up for yourself or somebody else that you see that can't stand up for themselves and some injustice is happening. We've had to go to wars throughout lifetimes and stuff. Like our light side, we don't want to do anything like that. We don't want to have to fight with somebody and defend ourselves. So like that's where your darkness is your ally. That's where you got to realize, okay, this dark part of myself, I need this. You just have to learn how to balance it. You got to learn how to not let it be running the show and controlling you in ways that are not good for you. You've got to learn to honor yourself and know when to bring that darkness out and use it for your benefit.
That's a really good tip. Like you need your darkness to face something, and we need our darkness. As you said, like it's the light, it's the darkness from where the light shines. So we need darkness. We need to go through that dark phase to reach to the light. I think we should sit for a session myself to know my shadows. It's
I ended
sounding
up
so
falling in love with my
interesting to
shadow
me.
side. Yeah, I fell in love with my shadow side and I couldn't believe it, but I'm like, even my shadow's really cool. So I'm like, it's just learning to, you know, all it is really learning to honor what's good for you. When you know something's not good, if it's that, ego, trying to talk you into something or whatever, that little shadow self, you realize, like, no, I'm going to honor myself. This is when I'm running the show. And you still got to you got to let it come out. Like, this is what people don't realize. It's a part of you. So as long as you ignore your shadow and you turn it away, if you say, you don't have this, I don't have that, like, you're denying a part of yourself. So when you're trying to be on this journey and you're all about enlightenment and evolving and advancing, you're automatically preventing that from happening just having that point of view, thinking that way, because it is a part of you and you need to accept it. You've got to love and honor it and see it there for what it is and learn how to work with it. You got to set rules. You are in control. Nothing can come into your field as long as you know it and you're commanding what can come in and what needs to go out. And the same thing goes with this. You can say, all right, shadow, I love you, but this area you can't touch. You can't be making decisions here. You're not choosing what's best for us, but I would like your help over here in this department. And you see it and you observe, you're letting them know, I see you, I observe you, I really appreciate you, but there's going to be some rules and guidelines that you have to follow. And this is where you start building that relationship and coming into balance with it. It's loving and honoring that part of yourself and being okay with it and realizing that it's there for a reason. Even like those parts of yourself that are darker because of things you went through. I mean, it's there because of those things you went through. You can't help it. Like, don't hate on that. You love it and honor it, heal it, forgive it, reserve, just it's all done then. It's beautiful.
So everything to happen, we need to first see, right? We need to first see what we have gone through. And like you said, don't ignore your part. You don't ignore your shadow. That's a part of you. And that felt really very nice because we always try to put the negative side. Do not take accountability or do not acknowledge that negativity, and we think that we are pure and everything, but the purity also has a mix of positive and negative, and the way you said, if there is dark, there has to be light. If there is light, there has to be darkness. So it's a
Yeah.
combination, it's a balance. And that was beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Like, don't ignore your parts. You see them, but you need to know when you need what part of you, right?
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
to you have to know when you need what. So that is, I think that is what light work is about, to know I have these things, and when can I use these things, right? If I understand.
Yes. Yes. That's really all it is. It's self-discovery. That's why I tell people, I'm like, it's a journey of self-discovery. It's learning these parts of yourself and being okay with them, or you're making peace with them. And like you were talking about, just like, when you make mistakes and stuff, this is the thing. Don't beat yourself up. A lot of people don't realize, like, even sometimes, like when you've done something wrong to somebody, forgive yourself. That was a lesson for you. Now you see like how it made you feel and that wasn't good. But you don't always realize how God could have been using you in that situation to teach that person a lesson that they needed to learn. You went and did something totally out of character and that you usually don't do. Well, what if you only did that because it was something you were meant to do to help them learn a lesson as well? So you're learning from that experience and they're learning from that experience. We've got both people here able to learn and grow from each other and from a certain experience. So this is why we must be open to forgive ourselves. And we also have to be honest and real. Like, don't care what people are going to think. Their opinion doesn't matter. Their journey is not your journey. You're all on different parts. They need to mind their own business and be in their own life. And you'll have people that try to butt into yours, but it's yours to live with, So you want to make sure that you're doing right by you. Don't care what they tell you to do or what's right. You have to live with yourself at night. And that's one thing that I'm proud of that I've always done. And God said He wanted other people to learn from me. It's even in my life, I would do what I felt my heart was right, and I went against the grain. And I would usually, and it would end up kicking me in the butt. Like the people that were doing something wrong would end up going good for them. But God told me, He's like, that is what I love, that you still did what was right in your heart. You didn't sit there and go against what you know felt right to you. And in the end, you get your justice. It comes around. Things will be made right. Worked out well, but they don't realize that karma that comes around like 10 years later and their whole life comes crumbling apart. And they're like, why, God? And he's like, remember when you did this, this, and this 10 years ago? And so just forgive, be open to it. Do not beat yourself up and don't hold on to things that other people did as well. These were like everybody in your life is there for a reason. You don't realize most of the people that hurt you are your soul tribe. They are only hurt you because you asked them to. When you need to learn this lesson. And when you came here, they were like, hey, we love and support you. We love that you're going to Earth. We want to help you. Where do you need me? Okay, well, I need to learn this over here. So, do you think you can come over here and break my heart that day? Do you think you could be like really horrible to me here? Like, this is what we do. So, you have to, like, when I learned this, I was totally, it changed everything. I was finally able to let go of stuff. I'm like, okay, I get it. I get it now. Like, I'm not gonna play victim anymore, and I'm gonna realize what it was for. And you feel so much better. Just let this stuff go. Don't hold on to it because that's like the big that's us putting ourselves in prison right there. That's us just leaving the chains and shackles on us when we hold on to all this resentment and pain. And that's life's not worth living that way.
Yeah, that's because we are not
Also,
able to
would you like
choose
me
a
to share?
better. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, said I was gonna say if you want, you I will share light language today at the end if you want with everybody.
Yes, we will end it that note. You have to share. You have to share. You have to share.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
So so I figured I usually always do this for when I do the podcast. I love to show people so they can understand what it is. All right. So I'm going to call in my team to assist me with this. Now, with you guys, I want you to all just take a deep breath in, exhale. Now, when I do this, I want you to just keep breathing like that. And I want you to place your hand over your heart. This is saying to yourself, I'm connecting at my heart now. All right. And if you want to receive these energies, just say out loud, accept these activations for my highest and greatest good only. Okay. And I want you to picture beautiful golden light and energy. It's going to be entering now at your crown chakra. And that beautiful light and energy is going to fill every inch of your body while I do this work. All right, Divine, you know what they need more than I do. So may you bring forward exactly what this collective needs at this time. Ashalea to nale hetea sanaria lokuma e shidea lalio sunalia tu nialakia. Escenaria putai alariata e kuna selia tu shia lalakia su. Hai alaria tu nalakia naria tu sanaria tu shia alaria tu naria satea. Escenaria pu shia akia e siti alaria kuma e shia kalia. Hailarakia satu de ai anariotu. Escenaria bataya kenialia su. Gates, the reins of heaven to heal their aura completely and bring it to the highest frequency possible. Ishenaria tu kumaya esete alaria tunaya te anadaria sanaria kumashi. Andia naria salia tu naria kai. I anaria tu sunaria kai nanashi. I usunia. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. And you all just during the next 2 days, you want to stay hydrated because that locks in the work. If you were dehydrated, you kind of lose it all. So just take care of your bodies. If you feel tired or sore the next day, just know that's you just went through major DNA activations and and just give yourself whatever you want to go run a marathon, run a marathon. Just give yourself whatever your body's telling you need and you'll be fine. Oh, I think we got a lag again. There we go.
Thank you so much,
Okay. Okay.
Christina. Thank you for your positive thoughts. Thank you for sharing your positive energy with us. And also, thank you for sharing your journey from darkness to light.
Thank you for having me on the show.
That was it was amazing. It was a learning episode for me. Thank you so much. Hope to see you again.
It's, the reactions are always different. It's fun to see. Sometimes you don't feel it if you're not as comfortable with light language yet, or you don't really have a lot of belief in it because you never experienced it. Sometimes you don't experience as much, but once your belief is there, it changes everything. Like, I've had some crazy experiences from people with the light language and what they've felt and seen, and it's really intense. So um always just have an open mind,
Yeah.
and when you go
Yeah.
into it, and you'll be surprised at what you can experience from it.
Yeah. Yeah. So we wish all our viewers they find some surprise in their life with the light today that we shared, Christina shared. And thank you. We hope to meet you again, Christina.
Thank you for having me today.
Thank you.